r/showerthoughts. Sammy I Salami I says, telepathy wouldn't work on people who don't have an inner monologue. Antius 2 says, it would if it involves the transmission of information. As long as someone is able to process information, you could have access to it. Kansas says, you might not be able to understand it though. Antius 2 says, why is that? I think you should be able to process information the same way you would with any other sense organs. Altep says, you try to read my mind but all you can hear is a Barbie girl on full blast, but only the first part, on repeat. That's been going on for about 3 hours and a half. Spruce says, come on Barbie, let's go party. 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 Chemical Dish 2325 says, this but the metal cover. Flibbert 76 says, why are you assuming telepathy is solely about reading the words out of someone's mind? There's so much more there. Bonazos says, and asking questions triggers different thoughts and memories. Yowlook Greetin Heels says, even if you're not having an inner monologue, your brain is doing something. I've always been fascinated with the subconscious thoughts, ones that you aren't as aware of, that could be read by someone with telepathy. However, it'd be strange and potentially dangerous, as they are thoughts/emotions that aren't converted. I should just go to bed. Miserable Smoke says, I'm not listening to your inner monologue, I'm combing through your memories. Ikfrazadidus says, why wouldn't it? Maybe you're not relpathing their inner monologue, but sensing their thoughts generally without words. Considering that telepathy doesn't exist, there's no reason it should work that way. r/showerthoughts. Thismartus1 says, gold medals are harder to win every year due to population growth. Dweesh says, the number of people competing for gold medals probably doesn't grow at the same rate as the population. King Goof 88 says, it probably does. I don't see why the percentage of people who want to compete would change with population size. Lockvin says, well, for a lot of sports most of the best contestants are in countries that have very low population growth, so that does affect things. Velvet Gazer says, true, but on the bright side, if you win one, you're basically a unicorn among humans. Barman 1 says, depends on what you're competing in. Youth travel baseball? Every kid gets a gold medal or a ring at least once a weekend. I know you meant Olympics, but I just wanted to be cheeky. Confident Guide 5870 says, I'd expand on this to say that gold medals in established sports are harder to win every year. It wouldn't be the case for the first year, as you couldn't have won it last year as the sport is new this year, so there's no previously established level of difficulty for winning gold in that sport. Goomiman says, harder is subjective. You'll have to be better, see all of the world records shrinking, and there will be a bigger pool of competition. But the optimizations of training, tactics, drugs, are also improving. At this point no one is self-training a gold medal in most sports, and I would go as far as to say that no one is capable of out-hard-working someone else. The old rule that you can outwork talent is true, but you can't outwork talent that works just as hard. And you can't outwork talent that is also a genetic freak working with a team of scientists optimizing their sport. It's not harder to win a gold medal, it's just less likely to be born with the genetics possible to win one. And then you'd have to put in the full-time hard work. Silly Resist 8306 says, they keep adding sports too. The first Olympic Games had 43 events in 9 sports. The world population in 1896 was about 1.6. billion people. This provided one event for every 37,000 people. The most recent Olympics had 329 events in 45 sports. With a population of about 7.9 billion people, this yields one event for every 24,000 people. It's getting easier. r/Showerthoughts. Storm4NN says, the person who first discovered that wine gets better with age probably just forgot it in a basement somewhere and really lucked out at a party. Durakus says, a lot of people forget how long human and animal history is. Fermentation is the process by which wine and other alcohols were made, and also occurs in the wild. Humans, being as smart as they were/are, just extrapolated the process from instances in the wild, and were probably well acquainted with the effects due to animals/themselves consuming it in the wild. Since fermentation takes time, humans have an innate understanding of how time affects things. Wine aging by extension is just another extrapolation of time equals better. RG4RG says, always love hearing the stories or seeing the photos/videos of squirrels or birds drunk. Gives me a light chuckle. Ladder Victim says, I'm sure you'll be already seen it, but there's a great video of animals coming from far and wide to a certain tree in Africa to munch the rotten/fermented fruit. Elephants and all sorts, all rolling around streaming drunk. Awkward Turnover 983 says, lots of inventions follow this idea of someone just getting lucky. First cheese? It was probably goopy and similar to cottage cheese. Someone left their milk out a little too long, but got lucky with the exact bacteria that got into it. Then they smelled it and thought, oh, this doesn't smell bad like most times my milk expires. Then they ate it and it was pretty good, so they spent a lot of trial and error trying to do it again. Carmen Misbillingbird says, the microwave was invented by someone forgetting chocolate in his pocket when heading to the lab. Slyther in Victory says, one of the first uses of the microwave in a non-military setting was humanly defrosting live hamsters. Bonfire Mistros says, although some wine does improve with age, the main reason why old wines are expensive is because they are both rare and from a good year more than they improved over time. You can't take a middle of the road wine and make it good by aging it, but when there's a really good year, dealers set bottles aside for future ones it's all drunk up. Then bam, expensive wine because it's known to be great vintage and not easy to get a hold of. Sherpa says, this basically how Worcestershire sauce was invented. A guy tried some fish sauce in India he thought was great, anchovies are a key ingredient, and decided to try and recreate it back in England. It was a miserable failure that was disgusting. Him and his buddy gave up and just shoved the barrel into the corner of the basement and forgot about it. 3 years later he found the barrel, and because it was the 19th century and people just didn't give a frick in those days, he decided to try the 3-year-old sauce. It was delicious. To this day official Worcestershire sauce is aged 3 years before being sold. r/Showerthoughts. Shot Saliva says, if a friend is wearing a wingsuit and the wind is really strong, you could probably tie a rope around their waist and fly said friend like a kite. Here says, I'm pretty sure if the wind was strong enough to lift your friend, it would pick you up, because as a counterweight you don't weigh significantly more than him, so there's nothing really keeping you on the ground against such strong forces. Legal Water Drinker says, well, tie another rope to yourself and give it to another friend. Meshed says, hoist her up mateys, for today we sail the western winds, homeward bound. Zerodison says, man lifting kites are a thing. Also, people do it with paragliders behind boats. To do it with a wingsuit would need hurricane force winds, or done with wind turbines or jet engines. Sudometrix says, finally a good shower thought. Claremilla says, I watched a new animation series Kite Man. Hell yeah, and so you may be onto something. XGH0STF4sex says, my friend and I helped some random dude get this giant ass kite off the ground in Seaside Heights, NJ years ago. As soon as it got going he said that you in broken English and started skidding away with the kite dragging him along. I'm pretty sure he went airborne moments later and was never seen again. JTrain13 says, well, I'm certainly adding this to the date ideas bucket. Difficult Pirate 782 says, made me smile anyway. Human 2468 says, Piglet? Is that you? Seat Glittering 4559 says, just the other day my friend was saying that they make weed too strong. You just lost me a bet, sir. Toilet Babis Centipede says, no. JFC put down the barn. Facetherson says, something like that would blow me away. Maleficent Crew 1904 says, I tried flying an actual real kite the other day in fairly windy conditions, and it was so frickin' hard, so my skeptical ass doesn't think this dude will lift. Sorry to be a buzzkill. I'd like you to prove me wrong though, if that situation ever arises. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.